If you've been watching anything that I've been doing to promote this event, trust me, she has been a lifesaver. She's gonna give us some real practical tips. If you need somebody that's reasonable to help you, like you know you need to do better on social media, but you don't feel like it, you ain't got time for all that, her. That's who I want you to meet. Bringing to the stage is Arisha Smith, who is a digital diva and fabulous and giving us all kinds of platinum, okay? That is just amazing. Just come right here. And Arisha is a mompreneur. She is my personal strategist, and I say, okay, girl, now how do I do this? And why do I do this? So that's the thing that you want to know. There's actually a psychology and a strategy behind. It's a science. Even, she's a marketing person. She's a marketing diva. There's a science behind why you do what you do and what makes it effective. That's why some of the stuff that we do is not effective, and you're about to learn some things today. Now, coming to the stage is not only is she a health and wellness amazing person that we know who has helped all of us get our life together, but she is also my girl. Put your hands together for Miss Donna Richardson Joyner. And without further ado, now you've seen her everywhere, right? You've seen her on TV, you've seen her on The Real Housewives of Atlanta, you've seen her on game shows, you hear her now in Dallas on the radio, okay? And if you haven't, you need to listen to 105.7. Put your hands together for TV and radio personality Claudia Jordan. Thank you all for your patience. Pass this down. Now, when we talk about social media and self-care, I want to just get right into it, okay? Because there's social media that you see, and then there's your real social life. And then there's what's going on behind it. So I want to just jump right into it, okay? Because you've probably seen most of these ladies on social media, and if not, you will soon. But I want to give you a behind-the-scenes experience right now. Claudia, first of all, when you came here in March, you blew everybody's mind because we see you always looking pretty. You're a model, right? Professionally, you've been a model, but you're so much more. And so you talked a lot about your journey, and I'll let you share whatever you want, about being on the red carpet of life, but having life happen to you in real time, and the story behind the story. And so I know for sure a lot of us pose and we look good and we see other people and we make life decisions based on what we think is true. But what you may not realize, as you have said, is that you may be making decisions based on a lie. Can you speak on that?
I will. So I've been in the business for a long time. I'm 46 years old. I started when I was like 16. And, you know, the whole career in the beginning was about looking good, being perfect, being in pageants. There's no room for error. So you have to kind of put that facade on. And
error, you heard the East Coast? Error.
I'm sorry. Yes. And so, you know, I think we go through, you don't have to be in the entertainment business to do this. I think we do this as women, right? We have to show that we have it all together, we're good, we got to be a strong black woman. And I feel like we got to stop doing that to ourselves. No one makes us do that. We do that to ourselves. Why do we have to be a strong black woman? Why can't we be vulnerable? Why can't we be, you know, need help? White women don't put that burden on themselves. They are allowed to be fragile and weak and need therapy and break down and make mistakes. And we don't allow ourselves to do that. And we don't allow each other to do that. And we got to stop that nonsense immediately. You know, like when I talked last time about being on the red carpet and, you know, being at events and looking pretty and, you know, well, trying to look as pretty as I could. But my life was in shambles. I left the red carpet and drive home to my house, and I was praying that there wasn't a foreclosure notice on my door. Because what people thought I was balling and you got it going on, I mean, I really wasn't. I was holding it together by, like, I mean, I was doing bad. But I couldn't let y'all know that because once I show you that things aren't really popping like they supposed to be, y'all ain't gonna want to deal with me. I'm not fabulous anymore. I'm not hireable anymore. I'm not desirable anymore. And it was such a horrible way to live. I felt so fake, being on the carpet, smiling with these flashing lights. Claudia, what you working on? Whenever someone says this, oh, I can't really discuss it right now. That means I ain't got shit going on. Right?
That's LA speak. That's interpretation right there.
So when they say, oh, I'm not at liberty to say, that means nothing. You know, and it was heartbreaking, but I still had to keep it up because if I let y'all know, then no one would want me even more. You know what I mean? And that was a horrible way to live. So I had, like, everything was going great, and then I got married in a quickie, stupid Vegas marriage. I mean, in jeans, and at the Hollywood, it was like the little white wedding chapel. I thought it was real, it wasn't. And it was one of the worst mistakes I ever made in my life. You know, I went in there pure, with pure intentions, and like one wrong decision, like date the wrong guy, you know, you could die, you can get killed, you can have your life ruined. My heart was ripped out of my chest. I couldn't believe that I fell for this. And then he made it his mission to destroy my reputation after that.
Y'all hear a theme?
He made it, I mean, I couldn't believe someone that I thought had my best interest in mind. He spent 3 years, every single month for 3 years, putting a different rumor about me. And I was too weak to fight it. So I just let it go. And then, you know, like, I thought it went away, and then I got on Housewives, and people dug up all that stuff, and I had to relive it again. It's funny that Donna is here, because when I was doing Celebrity Apprentice, that evil witch, Omarosa, she thought it'd be a good idea to put a rumor about me that I had broke up Donna and Tom's marriage. And I didn't have a way to reach out to her. I just had to take it. And it was on blogs and social media, and I felt like, there's no evidence. Like, why would people say that? There's not even I don't know why would people would think that. But people believe, they want to believe the negative. And social media and all that stuff, it was such a horrible thing to have to deal with. And that was part of my depression. I was so depressed. Because I'm so pro-black woman, I really am. And to feel like I'm looking like I did something horrible to another black woman that I respect was awful. It really was. And I'm so glad we're here today, though.
How many of you heard that rumor? Anybody here heard that rumor? You heard that rumor?
You heard it?
Okay.
Really? Oh, I shouldn't have said nothing then.
No. It's been out there for at least 7 years.
Yeah.
And what's interesting is that we met and we became friends. We would hang out together on the cruise every night.
We're talking about the Tom Joyner
Tom
cruise.
Joyner,
We haven't caught
my
that
former
by now.
husband, cruise.
Because we both have gambling problems. Let's tell the whole story.
That's right. A little bit. But I saw the story, heard about it. By that time, I had moved on. You had moved out to LA. And then recently, we ran into each other, and she says, look, people are treating me so bad because they think that I broke the two of you up. And I said, that's ridiculous, because God and Tom and I know what broke us up. And where God was taking Tom and I, we couldn't go there together. Amen? So she ran into me again, and we talked about it. Dia was there. And we said, okay, we need to talk about this and let people know. I came on her show. We spoke about it. But they did not put that out there about us talking about it, coming together as women, saying that was wrong. And what we learned from it, again, this is a lesson. We judging each other instead of getting the truth. Did you hear me? And it's just not right. And I can't even imagine what she went through, because I know when you have those loyal fans, they can be really brutal. So they're up here calling her names. She may even had a few jobs that you didn't get because of that one rumor. And so I'm just here to say you gotta be more respectful, show love and kindness to each other. And I feel like if this was reverse, Claudia would have done that for me. So I just think that we should take a little bit more time, seek the truth, but also just be kind. We're supposed to be uplifting and inspiring each other, not tearing each other down. So I was happy to go on her show, but did the news pick that up? Not one, because it wasn't negative. So I'm just here to say that it's up to us to be supportive, to embrace each other, to love each other, not tear each other down. And I want us to start today. I know we are all beautiful, positive people, but it is time to let God and let go right now. So I would like for us all to just take a moment, because this is serious. I really felt her heart when she came to me, and people were talking, and we got a little bit emotional about it, because I had to put myself in her shoes, how I would have felt if someone had done that to me. So I would just like for us to take a moment and just pray with the woman next to you. Father God, I'm just thankful that we can come today. Father God, I just ask that you will continue to cover, guide, and protect Claudia. Father God, I ask that whoever said anything negative or treated her bad, Father God, that you would stop the haters, Father God, that you would just squash them. make sure that as we're moving forward, God, it's positive, it's uplifting those people.
And we don't mean Pentecostal prayers right now because we got to go. Speak in your heavenly language within yourself. Speak in your social media holy prayer language. Halaraboshada hashtag. Thank you, Jesus. I'll be in the cloud just a little bit. We do take it seriously, but I also want to be respectful of your time. Shikandorable hashtag Arisha. So one of the interesting things, you guys, is there's a responsible way to use social media also, right? And sometimes it's very difficult. And so, Donna, I want to get back into some stuff around going through public situations when they're in the world of social media. But before we do that, for those of us who need help and support as it relates to smart ways to use social media, for instance, right? Because we know that there can be trolling. We know that there can be public issues that happen. But when you're trying to build your brand, right, and you're not at their level of publicity or celebrity, and you're trying to be seen and heard, what are some tools that we can use to really get our message out more effectively? As an example, I told you, I feel comfortable asking silly questions because I'm getting comfortable, A, asking for help, and B, knowing that you have friends who have information that you need. One silly question that I thought was silly but helpful is I asked Arisha, should you put stuff on your stat page or in stories? And in her mind, all this stuff is easy because it's what she does. But tell us the science and the reasoning behind why you should do certain things, such as if you really want a lot of people to see what you have to say, including stories that need to go out, why you should use stories versus your static page on Instagram. Anybody here on Instagram? Anybody here want to be on Instagram or do better, learn something? Okay, help us.
So that's a good way to move into this. So Dia was talking about her event, and she was wondering, well, I've been putting it on my page, and I've been posting it, and I was like, sis, the way the algorithm is set up, nobody's gonna see what's on your page like that. Because coming in the natural feed organically, depending on what you're looking at and what you're doing, is what will be served up. And back all the way up, Instagram is a money-making machine. So at the end of the day, they want people to open the app. They want people to spend time on it. They want you in these stories because that's the way they can serve ads faster and they can get more interaction. So they push more interactive stories towards you based upon the behavior and what's happening. So I was telling her, I said, well, why don't you put the things you want people to see. You need to promote it more in the stories. Leverage your hashtags. Have you done your hashtag research? Because they're going to float those up higher as well. Make sure you're appropriately tagging and placing locations in your stories. Because again, the more data, the more information you're placing in the marketing materials that you want people to see, the more Instagram is going to elevate it up. Because number one, they love that data. They're in trouble for that data now, Mark Zuckerberg, for much data as they aggregate because they use it to sell. So whatever is going to help them sell, you kind of have to outthink the app. So, okay, well, what's going to help them sell? What are they going to be looking for people to do? Because that's what they're going to push. So my conversation with her is use your hashtags, use your locations, use other business tags. You have all these people, these influencers on this panel. Encourage everyone on the panel to share and to co-tag, even in the stories, because it's going to continue to help build it up and create a trend. And Instagram loves a trend. So those types of understanding the science and the data behind it, besides just taking a cute picture and saying, this artwork is beautiful, how come nobody's looking at it? How come no one's talking about it? Because nobody's going to see it in the static.
That's important to say because you know what happens is you start making judgments and have self-esteem issues because nobody responds to your stuff and you think it's you. Right? You're like, no, I just unloaded. I just gave you some fabulous stuff and nobody's responding. So but there are algorithms and there are reasons behind it. And so also briefly discuss the personalities of the different social mediums, right? Because Facebook is different than Instagram, how you use that. Twitter is different. And so what should we be using what for?
Okay, real fast. Facebook is where the old people are. So if you want
Know your audience, though. And by old, you mean what?
40 and up. There's some 30s. They trend. They
They're
want to come
coming back. I feel like younger
They're
people
not
are
gonna
coming
stay
back.
there because they're more woke and they know how much data is coming through Facebook and how much people can see it. So they're not. It's too much of a time suck. Facebook is more if you want to talk and have a long post and you want Google to spider and see that type of information for it to come up more in more feeds and things of that nature. That's what Facebook is for. Facebook is also very robust as far as linking with other apps. Eventbrite works real good in Facebook. You know, Shopify works real well in Facebook. Anything where Facebook can make money, or if you're looking to run e-commerce, Facebook is great for that. Instagram is visual. So this is why these ladies look fantastic on Instagram and their stuff performs very well. They're always taking beautiful pictures, people are commenting, and what I love about what Claudia does is Claudia responds to the comments in the pictures, which is
in real time.
Yeah, in real time. She looks at her DMs, which people don't think about it. And if you look at the latest thing that came out, Instagram is pushing DMs. Like I commented on one of her stories and I saw she looked, or your assistant or somebody looked at it. And so the thing about that is Instagram wants you to take all these actions. So if you're taking these actions, they're gonna push they're gonna push it up more, push it more further and get people to see it. Twitter, it's a microblog. So that's why journalists are popular there. That's why radio, TV, and so forth, because it's timely and they want to see people speak over and over again. While they do have video and photos and so forth of that nature, they want the immediate thread of interaction because the copy, the text is robust, the hashtags are robust, and so that indexes very, very well for search if you're wanting to put enough keywords out there to get people to you.
Does that make sense? I mean, I know that was a lot in a short amount of time, but it helps you to understand because media has a personality and you need to know what medium you're using. Arisha has to go, but as she's doing that, Monique, can you, for those who want to do better and they need help, tell us how you help people to simplify their life, because on one hand, self-care and social media can be you know, not being addicted to it, right? Or dealing with trolls or the kinds of information. On another level, it could be you don't have time, right? And it stresses you out. How do you help people who are just too busy or they don't know enough to really navigate social media?
I keep it 100% honest. It's a big game. It's a video game, and it has to be played at a certain level. So the way social media works, especially Instagram, Facebook, it's off of your behaviors. They collect your data, they hold it for 30 days. And so if you notice, if you go on Facebook right now, you probably see the same.
Wait, hold on. They do what?
They hold it for 30 days because that's how they predict what you want to see next. So they collect it, and then every month, they just keep collecting. Now, Facebook and Instagram now allows you to download your data. So you can download all the stuff they collected, and you can save it on your hard drive, and you can do that every month.
They still keep it.
They still have access to it.
Okay.
So what happens is, this is how I explain the algorithm. How many of you use Pinterest? Okay, so you know when you search one thing on Pinterest, you exit the app, you go back into it, you see what you just searched for. That's how the algorithm is set up. So whatever you look for is what they're gonna predict you wanna see. So if you're not seeing enough of people on your Facebook or your Instagram, you have to go directly to their page, engage with their stuff, because what's gonna happen is they're gonna collect the data and say, okay, well they're engaging with this person, now we can put them in their feed. So it sucks because it's time consuming. So what I do is I go through and I literally have gone through Dia's followers and I've removed all the quote unquote ghost followers, so all the hair accounts, all those accounts where you're like, well, why I keep getting all these hair accounts following me? The way Instagram is set up and why they don't get deleted is because, one, they don't use hashtags and they're not putting a caption. They just put a photo. If nobody's reporting the photo, it stays. So versus you guys just, blocking them, you have to report them as spam. That's the only way they get removed. So basically, I will go through Dia's accounts once a week, and I'm like, I don't know, nope, report as spam, and I'm just reporting. So that way, when she does get engagement, it's more authentic, and she knows that it's actual followers and not just a bot that just liked it. So in order for you to do that, what I do is I do all the research. I research hashtags, so I don't use any apps. With any of Dia's stuff, I will not use an app. I will literally sit on Instagram for 4 hours and go through each hashtag and see what is the most popular and why we're not going to use the most popular. And this is what I told Dia when I first met her. When you use hashtags, if you use the most popular hashtag, so if we say beauty probably has like 76 million posts. Your post is cornstarch to the liquid of how many people are actually posting. So you know what happens with cornstarch if you cook? It makes it real thick. So as soon as you post your picture, it's gone. Nobody's gonna see it. So that's why I always say avoid all the popular hashtags, all those apps where they say, oh, I have the, hashtag. Stop. The optimal number of hashtags, I kid you not, is not 30 anymore. The more hashtags you use, the less engagement you get. So that actually came out in a study in the last 2 months. So that's what I do. I study algorithms. I study, what are the trends. So the optimal number of hashtags right now is actually 11. So now that means you have to be real precise with your hashtags. So, the one thing that I will say, if you are building your brand, is always have a branded hashtag. So whatever your business is, that's the very first hashtag. The very first. So for me, mine is J. Marie Digital. My tagline is Ready Player One. So my first two hashtags are always J. Marie Digital, Ready Player One, and then whatever else I feel like putting. Now Facebook has what they call their creator studio. So now you can schedule your posts for Facebook and Instagram at the same time. And it's free. So this is not something that you pay for. So you literally go to Google, type in Facebook Creator Studio, you link your Facebook and your Instagram, and you can schedule your posts up to 6 months in advance. Sometimes I can get Dia's scheduled probably 2 weeks in advance. And I mean, like, everything for both pages scheduled and it's ready to go. I don't even have to touch it.
And her rates are good, just in case you need somebody. Okay, any social media questions? Yes.
What is your take on social media outlets like Shade Room, Viral Alert,
Gossip sites. First of all, do you believe what you read? But so it's entertainment.
Okay, so with the Shade Room, Baller Alert, all of those, to be honest, I say unfollow them all. Now, if you're going to use them to promote, you better be ready to spend at least $1,200, $1,500. And that's just one post. That's not multiple posts. That's one post. Then you have to hope that your target audience is who they're promoting to. So a lot of times if you're looking for an influencer to promote your brand, ask them for their insights. Let me see your audience. If your target audience is women, if it says this influencer, they got 10,000 followers, but 77% of their followers are men, you paying somebody to promote to men. So it defeats the purpose. So you have to really buckle down and say what it is that I want to promote. So when it comes to those gossip pages, I will say as a business owner myself, you start comparing yourself to this other business. And as a business owner, we can't compare ourselves. And that's where we all find that fault in social media. We're constantly comparing ourselves and our levels of success with someone else when that is not the path that God has us on. So you are on a separate road because it's less traffic there. So you over here trying to be on the Shade Room and you sitting in bumper to bumper traffic and I'm trying to get off on Lover's Lane and I'm sitting back here at Royal and you still ain't made no progress because you're so concerned about what's over here. If you focus on what you have in your lane, what's meant for you will always be for you. So if you don't have the money for ads right now, okay, let's think of some free ways to promote. There is Alignable. So if you're local in Dallas, Alignable is free. I've had clients come from Alignable, and you can meet with other local business owners. You have Google My Business. There are so many free ways to promote your business. Like, I kid you not, Dia knows, I will go and do Instacart, and I will take my business cards and scotch tape in my fanny pack, and I could be in the frozen food section, I'm taping business cards to food. Because somebody gonna come and pick it up, and they gonna see that business card. So you have to think outside the box. So don't just limit yourself to social media because Instagram can go down any day. Facebook can go down any day. You have to build your email list. Where's your website? Things like that. Go door to door. And especially if you're local and you have services for local businesses, walk in there with a little gift bag like, hey, I do X, Y, and Z service. I'd love to consult with you, blah, 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 and leave it at that.
One of the first things that they teach us in media is know your audience. right? And so a lot of times you get so caught up in the idea of it, but we've really lost sight of relationships.
I just know how it feels, and I just see people piling on that don't have their stuff together, not nearly as much as the people they're talking about. And I cannot support a blog that just is constantly making money off of trashing black women, black people. I don't repost fight videos and anything that makes us look trifling or hood radish. I just don't do it. I do not do it. I can't do it because, like, and the positive never goes viral. We got to start making it go viral.
We do. I have one more question for you, but before I do, I want to introduce y'all real quick to Sandy. Sandy Himmel is with Neora. Now let me tell you, I don't know if you heard about Nerium, it's now Neora. And it's a product that when I was dating my husband, like literally, he saw the difference in terms of how it impacted my skin. Like, okay, since we're keeping it real and no filter, right? And so when you have like cellulite and all these kinds of things, as you're getting older, your skin changes. And it's really interesting. One of my former co-workers who was with the Tom Joyner show, she left. She started selling their products, and I bought it from her. And I've been using it ever since. So can you just tell me what Neora is, because I want them to come and see you, and why and how it impacts people?
Thanks so much. So Neora is all about making people's lives better. From the standpoint of anti-aging, whether it has to do with wellness, like brain function, memory, focus, things of that nature, or it has to do with skincare. I'm passing around some pictures. Our products actually work. They're based in science. Everything has a patent attached to it. And our scientific, one of our primary product developers is a teaching professor at Princeton University. Now, if you know anything about universities, you know that they will not associate with somebody who's going to bring down their reputation, correct? They love us. They love us. So I have pictures, I have samples, and I've given away 5 prizes already. I'm getting ready to give away the big one. So about 15 minutes after this panel is done, rush on over and come see me and fill out a raffle prize drawing, because I'd love to give you some of my product.
And then real quick, tell us about the neuro side of it, because so I'm actually being certified as a neuro coach too, because what you find is that as we're dealing with self-care, whether it's social media or health issues, a lot of it has to do with your brain, how you think, what you do, eat, or whatever. It all is connected. So skincare, brain, how does that work?
Okay, so here's a weird thing. One of the reasons why the people at Princeton are doing both skin and brain is because it turns out, and you could probably verify this, a skin cell and a brain cell have the same anti-aging properties, which is really weird. But so the brain product, what we do is it works on the neuronal connections on the brain. So my layman's analogy is all those brain cells I burned up earlier in my life when I was partying, they're gone. But if and the same is true if anybody's, no, they don't renew, but there's billions of them. There's billions of them, and I'm scared to get too scientific because, that's not right. But what we know is that there are so many events in our lives that can actually cause brain trauma. If anybody's played football for more than a minute, they've got stuff going on in their brain. If we have been in a car accident, we've got stuff going on with our brain because we get impact that we don't think about, but it manifests later on. So it's all about those neuronal connections. If it's a weak connection, it can be strengthened. If it's a broken connection, it cannot. But mostly it's about preventing the aging of the brain. My 91-year-old mother calls these her genius pills. Okay, you want to know more about that? You come see me.
I love it. And the reason why I think that's so important, thank you, Sandy. Go see Sandy when we leave here, is because one of the things we've been talking about all day, I've been talking about, is getting older, right? And I've been in denial about some things. And, we hear a lot about how emotionally and mentally social media impacts kids. A lot of studies, a lot of kids have committed suicide or attempted suicide based upon social media. What there's not a lot of study about is how it's impacting adults, okay, especially women. And people are literally making life-changing decisions based on social media. It makes you feel a way, how you use it, how you engage with it, how you allow others to engage with you. So even as we grow older and get better in certain areas, and sometimes we may end up having esteem issues because you don't just see yourself changing in the mirror. Now you see yourself changing through the lens of other people looking at you in a different way. I'm interested, because I know you probably can relate socially and emotionally as well, Monique. But Claudia, as a last question, how, as your life is changing, right? How has social media impacted you that way?
I remember leaving a restaurant in LA and there's paparazzi outside, and I thought it looked cute that day, so I took one of their pictures, I put it up on my social media. I just got done eating, okay, so then the rumor was that I was pregnant. And who was the daddy? Whose husband she get pregnant by? I'm like, damn. First of all, it was Rice. And, you know, and I'm just like,
Jerry Rice?
Yes, right? And it's like, every little thing, like, you could be like, everything's together, and if, like I said, if they're not happy, they're gonna find something negative to pick at you about. And if you're not in a good space, you're gonna take it to heart, you know? And I'm, you know, again, getting old. I came to Dallas 1 year ago. I've already gained 20 pounds.
That's nothing.
I'm sucking it in right
That's
now.
normal. I probably gained 50. I mean, Dallas will do that to you. Will
Yes.
set you up.
And social media, I mean, again, once you consider the source, it loses all its power. If I could leave you with anything, like, you know, they're gonna say mean stuff. There's gonna be some girl that likes the guy you're with, that hates you. There's gonna be someone that's just not having a good day. And if you let them, it can really hurt you. It really can. But once you consider the source, and remember what I said, nobody happy is hating on social media.
But here's the question. Okay, so let's say you said you gained 20 pounds.
Yes.
So how do you take care of yourself? Are you embracing that? Is that because point blank, your metabolism changes. The problem, sure, the tricks that you used to be able to do to just get rid of it don't work like it used to.
Right.
So from a self-care perspective, how do you deal with how you feel about that? And on top of you dealing how you feel about your own body changing, let's not even mention menopause and the emotional, okay, that's mental health issues all by itself. Okay, I don't know if you're there yet, but things are changing, baby.
I'm close.
Listen, I'm perimenopause, but still, and it affects your attitude, it affects your self-esteem, it affects your metabolism. It's a lot. It's a lot. How do you deal with that personally and socially?
Well, I'm not gonna lie, it sucks. And I mean, I get up at 3:30 in the morning every day, so I don't really have good sleeping habits. So that's also contributes to not being able to lose weight. And then I'm just grabbing snacks. I'm making tea with like this much sugar on the bottom, so I can be up and happy on the radio, trying to make it. You know what I mean? So it's like it's not healthy. And then at the radio, there's constantly people that are bringing their catering services to us. Like we had brisket at like 6:30 in the morning, and I cannot disrespect them and say no. They had peach cobbler on Friday.
So rude.
So, yeah, right. So it's been a challenge, and that's something that I guess we all, you know, I've always been naturally thin. I've been an athlete. We both ran track. Just as a woman, I guess I got my blood work done. I did do that, and I found out I was like pre-diabetic, anemic. My thyroid was high, low vitamin B, D, salt, everything. Like everything you can add that makes you tired and gain weight. So I know you're probably like, oh, you're thin. Yeah, I'm a skinny fat girl. Like, look, all right, I'm gonna stop sucking my stomach in because I've been doing it the whole show.
Girl, we family. Girl, we family around here.
Like every day, and then, you know, yeah, it sucks. I've ripped 9 pairs of jeans since I moved here. I mean, through the thigh, all the belt loops are gone.
Just 9?
Well, because I've transitioned into leggings.
Yeah, you ain't doing nothing until you all of a sudden your spandex be like, it's expanded to the point where you be like, how does my spandex have runs?
So, and then Dallas, I mean, my weight is, I gained the weight, it's good and bad, but like the reason why I gained the weight is because I moved to Dallas a year ago and I met like so many great ladies that are constantly inviting me to things. So it's like I'm mad at it, but not really, because I know I got it because I was at Moxie's with Isha, and I was with Trulux with Nikki.
You can name it.
I know, right? So I mean, it's just part of life. And when I'll use to tie it into social media, I'll sometimes try to do like a challenge so I can like get other people involved. Like, let's all get fine for the summer together, and then that kind of we hold each other accountable. Maybe do like a little hashtag. Like me and my girls got together. We started like Dallas Fit Girls Club. That was the hashtag. So if you worked out that day, you had to post pictures in the gym, really sweating, not just in your workout clothes, to show it, and it kind of like, it made it fun to kind of like, you know, that's a way you can do it with your friends to kind of like encourage each
New
other.
normal.
A new normal, because it's not gonna, like before, I could just like not eat for 3 days or 2 days or just go jogging and it's gonna come off. Now it's not. So we gotta just like come up with just new ways to kind of like bring ourselves together. And sisters, we gotta stop letting hair be an excuse why we don't go work out. They got too many ponytails that we could be snap-on to be doing all that.
I've dealt with that, like with clients that I have had, and I've always tell people, just be transparent. Like literally, I posted pictures, and I'm like, people are like, but you had six-pack back then. I said, that was BC, before children. I have one. So now it's like, I post pictures, and I'm like, I still have a mommy tummy. This is what happened. I had to go to the doctor, and they said, you have diastasis recti. And I was like, what is that? And it's abdominal separation. But my abdominal separation was in my lower stomach. So it kept looking like I was 3-4 months pregnant, but I'm not pregnant. My daughter was like, Mommy, you have a sister in your tummy. Stop touching my stomach and leave it alone. But the moment that I was open and honest with my audience on social media, like, I'm just like you.
You found a new tribe, didn't you?
Sure did. I was like, okay. They were like, do you eat healthy every day? No, girl, I just had turkey necks for dinner with some cornbread. And I had to let people know that you can still get in shape. You can still lose weight, but you don't have to change your diet. And people were like, but how did your client lose 10 pounds? I said, she's still eating what she wants. We just train 4 days a week. So it's like you have to find that balance, because when you're trying to present yourself to social media and building a brand, it's no cookie cutter approach. So if D is doing keto, Claudia's doing low carb, and I'm over here on high protein, and then you say, I'm gonna do keto too, but keto doesn't work for you. But low carb works for her, and then high protein works for you. So you have to find that balance and just be transparent, because what it is when you point out your flaws, can't nobody take that from you.